You know, if you're about to get attacked or jumped by a group of people and your friend is there with you and he doesn't jump in to help, is he really your friend? Welcome back, guys. All jokes aside, I'm here to talk to you guys about the movie that was released on Netflix called The Ritual. This movie is about a group of friends who go on this hiking trip in memory of their friend who was murdered at this liquor store robbery. And while they're doing this, one of the friends in the group gets kind of hurt. His knee just kind of gives out after he took a bad fall. So they decide to go through this forest that's supposed to cut their hiking trip in half. But what they don't know is that in these woods or in this forest, there is something waiting for them that could be the worst thing that could have happened to them. Now, there are some good things and bad things about this film. The main thing I would say is that the first act of the film to me was amazing, and I think most of the movie's praise comes from the director himself, David Bruckner, because I feel like he did an amazing job in building up scenes and moments, especially the first one that we get from the liquor store with a friend where he gets murdered. I think he did a great job in building up the suspense, and the way that everything was shot, I really digged it. A lot of the times we see scenes in the forest where parts of the liquor store would get mixed in with the forest, which was kind of strange because you would see lights in a liquor store in the middle of the woods, and I thought that was very interesting in how they did that. Another thing is the scenery. Oh my god, the scenery in this movie is amazing. It's like an eyegasm to me. I really loved it. But what this movie also does is that it gives us a sense of how big this forest is. It actually makes it seem like you'll never escape it if you go in. There's one shot in the movie itself that really stayed with me in particular, and it's not even the best scene in the movie, I would say, but it's just one of those scenes where it just stuck with me. And it's a scene where it's just a still, and it's a wide shot of them just walking through trees and woods, and it's literally just seeing them, and that gave me a big sense of how big this forest was and kind of in what kind of mood they were. So in a way, analyzing that scene to me was great. Other aspects of the film, a lot of people have been saying that this does have some great horror in it, and it does have a great creature. I would say there's this creature that's haunting them the entire time. You don't really know what it is, or you don't see it until the very end, but I think the payoff of this creature is very well done, and I've heard good and bad things about the creature. Some people don't like it, other people do. Me, myself in particular, I really loved the design of this creature, and I loved how it looked. It just looked very different from any other demon or ghost or monster looking thing that you would see in another horror film. It was kind of a mixture of a moose, the Pokemon Cloyster, and then at the same time it has a face-ish kind of, you can't really see the face, and then it has arms. So I don't know, something about that mixture I really was digging, and I'm kind of glad that I got to see it. And they do a good job in not showing too much of it. Now, like I said, the first half of the film is very good because it builds up a lot of tension. We get to this house where they kind of lose their shit because they kind of step into something that they mentioned. They call it witchcraft. They see this beheaded looking straw man thing praising to a demon, and after they encounter it, every single one of them wake up from a nightmare experiencing different things, and that part was pretty crazy. But then after that, while we're getting towards the end of the film, it kind of starts to slow down, and then the very ending of this movie itself, it wasn't a big scare finale. It was more of an action scene, or at least it felt like that to me. Now, people have complained about the actors and the script in this movie, and I can agree with some of the stuff that they have. A lot of the times they're just mainly screaming. A lot of the decisions that they make don't make sense at all. I feel most of the time they're trying to one-up each other, trying to be the more macho man of the group, and it doesn't make sense to have all of them play that role. There's one guy in particular who just screams the entire time, and sometimes I was just oh my god, can you please shut up? As far for the main character, Luke, I feel I wanted his character to be a better developed, because he's the one that's supposed to be scared. He's the one that decided to do this trip for his friend because he knows that he could have saved his friend during the liquor store robbery. But once we get to the forest, I just felt I really didn't care about him. The whole time they didn't really make him seem like a likable guy. He was just kind of quiet the entire time, just being scared, and in the end, it was not really a redeemable quality of his. It just kind of felt after all that, he still was that same guy at the liquor store. To me, there felt there was no transformation in this character at all. But the thing about the film is that even though all those things did bug me throughout the film, it didn't fail to entertain me, especially when it came down to the scares. I feel they did a good job in building up the suspense, especially a lot of the times with the scenes that they build up. A lot of the moments were very creepy, and I feel a lot of horror fans are gonna get some enjoyment out of this film. But yeah, guys, in the end, I found myself entertained by this film a lot. I actually liked it a little bit more than I expected. expected to. And I think that's mainly because of the direction of the film. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed a lot of the scenes. The scenery itself was amazing. The forest that we were in felt real, and it felt like you can really be trapped in there. The characters, I was on and off with them, and then at the very end, I just felt like I knew what was going to happen, but things were unexplained, and somehow characters knew what they had to do in order to survive. But either way, I definitely found some enjoyment in The Ritual. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give this one a 3.3 out of 5. So guys, have you guys seen The Ritual? What you guys think about it? Make sure to let me know down in the comments. Also, make sure to check out my review for Game Night. I just posted it maybe like a couple nights ago. But if you guys are new, please help me get to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button for your notifications. Share the video and give it a big thumbs up. But as always, guys, stay tuned.